Hello, I hope you're all well, and I hope you're doing well during this lockdown. I hope the homeschooling is going well too. Last week I told you a story about Jesus as a baby. Well, this week I'd like to tell you a story about Jesus when he was a little boy. Mary and Joseph and Jesus lived in Nazareth, and every year they would go to Jerusalem to celebrate the Feast of the Passover, which was a very important Jewish festival. And one year when Jesus was 12, they set off as usual to Jerusalem. They went with a large group of people. And while they were at Jerusalem, they visited the temple. And when they had finished celebrating the Feast of the Passover, Mary and Joseph set off home again to Nazareth. They thought Jesus was probably playing with all the other children in the large group of people that they had come with. But after they'd been travelling for about a day, they realised that Jesus wasn't in the party. And so they set off again for Jerusalem, very worried now, looking for Jesus. And when they got to Jerusalem, they went everywhere looking for him for 3 whole days. And they still couldn't find him. The only place they hadn't looked was the temple. And so they went and looked in the temple. And there was Jesus, with all the clever Jewish teachers, asking them amazing questions and giving really clever answers. And everyone was amazed, and Mary and Joseph were amazed too. But they were also a bit cross. "We have been searching for you everywhere," said Mary. And Jesus said, "Why were you searching for me? Didn't you know that I would be in my Father's house?" Because, of course, God is Jesus' Father, and the temple is God's house. Now, Mary and Joseph didn't understand, but they remembered what he had said, and Mary treasured these words in her heart. And Jesus went along with Mary and Joseph back to Nazareth. And he was obedient, and he became very wise and very strong, and God was very pleased with him. I expect Mary and Joseph were very worried about Jesus. But they didn't really understand, did they, who he was? And they probably didn't fully understand until Jesus died on the cross and then rose again. Then they realised he was the Messiah, the chosen one, God's Son. And sometimes it's a little bit like that for us, isn't it? We sometimes don't understand things and we get worried about things that are happening. It isn't until they're over that we look back and we realise perhaps what we've learnt from that situation. I think it's a little bit like that for the coronavirus pandemic at the moment, isn't it? A lot of people are worried. We don't really understand. But hopefully when it's over, we can look back and realise that perhaps there are things that we've done during this time that we wouldn't normally have done. Perhaps we have shown a kindness to a neighbour that we wouldn't normally have spoken to. And also, we have possibly spent this time learning new skills, new computer skills, for example. And the other thing is that during this time we realise what it is that we miss. One thing I'm sure we all miss is being together at school or at church or with other members of our family. And when this is all over, we can be very grateful for all those things that we've missed. So, have a think. What is it that perhaps you have done during this time? What is it that you have learned maybe during this time? And what is it that you will be really grateful for when it's all over? Bye.